Field.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, let's say you're 30 years old again.
Yes.
And you could reapply to play college basketball at any college you want. Would you fake it and try to see if you could make the team?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't. Okay. Well, yeah, sure. Why not? Relive the college years. Although my college years were commuting, so I'd have to
You'd have to live in the house now.
A frat house.
You'd have to have all your Twilight Zone tapes done. You'd have to.
Why am I Willoughby? Why am I Willoughby?
You're Willoughby. I'm sorry.
We are doing Everybody Wants Some. Double exclamation point at the end for some reason. Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Butler.
And I'm Mike Field.
And this is Forgotten Cinema, a show where every week we take a look at a movie that seems to be forgotten by audiences, whether it be because a more popular movie was released at the same time, or the film simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We'll discuss what we love about it, maybe don't love about it, but we always recommend you revisit it. You never know. You might find your own forgotten gem. If you enjoy Forgotten Cinema, we want to hear from you. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere with a backlog of over 300 episodes for your pleasure.
That's right. What's up?
Nothing, it's a big shot playing baseball on my high school team. I got a scholarship.
Yep.
Did a wrote a letter about being comparing Sisyphus and baseball to the college, got a full scholarship, got a full ride. Now I'm living in this house, which I didn't know they do. They didn't do it at my school where the teams live in their own dorm house. That's cool, I guess.
They explained that they had overcrowding and I think so.
Yeah. And so I've been living there in this house with these teammates for the next 3 days before school starts, and just kind of adjusting to the life of not just a college student, but also on a very competitive baseball team, and what's that's like. Nondescript,
Texas based university.
Yes. Also, I am drinking like so much alcohol.
Oh my God.
So much alcohol.
A lot. That's right. We are doing the Richard Linklater's Everybody Wants Some, the, I guess, spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused as I was reading, but also I kind of, when I watched it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. This feels a lot like Dazed and Confused. I don't know how you felt, but we'll get into that. So we'll get into the facts and then our discussion. And then, we'll talk about the movie. This is like really a terrible opening. Everybody Wants Some. It's a runtime of 117 minutes. It's rated R. Production budget of $10 million. Now, I have two release dates. I have a limited release date on Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. I had 19 screens and a wide release date of April 22nd, 2016. That one was at 454 screens. So let me give you some different numbers here. The limited opening weekend, it did $360,000. Its wide opening weekend, it did $2.3 million. Its total domestic take was $3.4 million. Its international take was $1.2 million for a worldwide total of $4.6 million. Production company was Annapurna Pictures and Detour Film Productions, and distributed by Paramount Pictures. All right, so let's go to the limited release date, which is the 30th, that Wednesday. Nothing came out but that movie. So let's go to that the Friday before, the 25th of March. You had Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Did they rename it?
I think it was always Dawn of Justice, or it was Dawn of Justice like right before it came out.
Really?
But when it came out, it was still Dawn of Justice. Okay. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I heard to know. It's not a very good movie.
Oh, my mother's name is Martha too.
That doesn't even bother me. It's all the Lex Luthor stuff, the Jolly Rancher Lex Luthor stuff. Like,
you don't like the ding at the end? Ding.
I hate everything that Lex Luthor's in
that. You also had My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 that weekend.
That's not bad.
And then a limited release of The Lobster, which was 15 screens. Like I said, it came out the 30th, which was a Wednesday. So April 1st, April Fool's Day, which is that Friday, you had a wide release of God's Not Dead 2, that sequel that everybody wanted. Meet the Blacks, I Saw the Light, Eye in the Sky, and also Hello, My Name is Doris. You see any of those?
Eye in the Sky sounds familiar.
Helen Mirren.
Okay. Yep.
I've seen Hello, My Name is Doris. I have not seen any of the God's Not Dead films. I'm sorry.
I remember we released them in the theater. I remember working those films, but
they weren't that busy. They were busy maybe like one day, maybe one day. The week after, the 8th of April, you had a wide release of The Boss, Hardcore Henry, and Demolition, and then a limited release of Mr. Right, which was on 35 screens. I've got the numbers I got the movies that came out during its wide release. You know what? Who cares? I mean, I've got them, but we don't need to dive into them. This film was written and directed by Richard Linklater, who has our first Linklater film, I believe.
I think it is. There are other ones on the list, but this is the first one.
So he was nominated for an Oscar for directing for Boyhood. I don't know if you've ever seen that one. That's the one that he did over like 17
I didn't.
years,
I wanted to watch it and
years.
I didn't. I've seen the Sunset movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're talking about before sunrise, before midnight, and then before sunset, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth,
like
whatever
that.
one or the other. Yep. He also directed Dazed and Confused, Hitman, which is the more recent one, and School of Rock. He wrote Boyhood. He was nominated for an Oscar for Boyhood for writing and Before Midnight and Before Sunset, and he also did Slacker. Cinematographer was Shane Kelly, who did A Scanner Darkly, Last Flag Flying, and Where'd You Go, Bernadette. Those are also Richard Linklater films. So he's kind of, a lot of the people that he works with are the same people. Edited by Sandra Adair, again, who's done Boyhood. She did Bernie, which is another Linklater film. Produced by Megan Ellison, Richard Linklater, and Ginger Sledge. Ellison has nominated for Oscars for Phantom Thread, Her, Zero Dark 30, and American Hustle. Linklater produced Bad News Bears and Me and Orson Welles. But yes, he also directed those. And then Sledge executive produced Parkland and Miss Congeniality. This has a big cast. It's probably a big cast of people you don't really know or you don't think you know.
You definitely know a couple of them.
Yes, obviously. Yeah. So I'm going to go through the list and I have all the guys here, and then obviously the love interest, Beverly for Mr. Jake here. So Blake Jenner plays Jake. You might have seen him in The Edge of 17 and the TV show Glee. Justin Street as Jay from Deepwater Horizon and My All American. Ryan Guzman as Roper. He's in the TV show 911. He's also in The Boy Next Door. I believe he is the boy next door in The Boy Next Door. He's also in Gem and the Holograms. How do you say Superman's name? Tyler Hoechlin? Hoechlin?
When we did
was it Hoechlin?
Perdition, I think we decided it was Hoechlin.
Was it Hoechlin?
I think that's what we decided.
He plays McReynolds. He's like the senior on the team. Road to Perdition, as Mike says. He's also Superman and Superman and Lois, a TV show. And I didn't realize he's in the TV show Teen Wolf. I guess he must be the lead.
Oh, yeah.
Wyatt Russell as Willoughby from Overlord, Night Swim, and Thunderbolts. Glen Powell as Finnegan from Twisters, Hidden Figures, and Top Gun Maverick. Also, he wrote Hitman with Linklater, and he starred in that. Temple Baker as Plumber from Hill Country Stories and Rent Free. J. Quentin Johnson as Dale from the TV show The Sun, Last Flag Flying, and The Summoned. Will Britton as Buter from Kong Skull Island and The Forever Purge. Austin Emilio as Nesbit from Hitman, The Walking Dead, the TV show, and The Fear the Walking Dead, the TV show. I guess he plays the same character, or they have the same character in both shows.
Look at him getting that spin-off money.
Forrest Vickery as Coma from Velvet's Vengeance. And then I don't know how to say her name. Zoe Deutsch. Deutsch.
I believe it's Deutsch.
All right. So What He Said from Why Him, Before I Fall, and Zombieland Double Tap. What is she? Because this is probably the first time. I know I've asked this before. I don't really know where she came from in terms of popularity. Like I've seen the name. I've seen her in other stuff. Like, what is she known for? That kind of like, you know how like
blew up and made her.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I was wondering the same.
Oh, really?
Like, why do I know the names? Why?
Well,
I know where I've seen her. I know I've seen her in Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay, but that's not what she was.
That's not. No, I don't know. I think she just kind of. She's got a good PR firm, maybe.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
I'm sure there's something.
Well,
maybe that we didn't. Or not.
What kind of hamstrings me, because obviously I watched a lot of film, and we obviously when we were working at the theater, you run across all these people, yeah. But because of the streamers and because a lot of some of these stars, some of these actors and actresses kind of hit it big or gain notoriety on streaming networks, on Peacock or Hulu, you just I never see it, so I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right now.
Oh, okay.
She was Gossip Girl in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, well, maybe that's it.
Ryan
Maybe it's Gossip Girl.
Everyone wants.
That's the one we're doing right now, Mike.
She's in Why. Yeah. After that, she did Why Him.
I remember. Well, yeah, it's on our list.
Yep.
Bryan Cranston.
The Disaster Artist.
Yep. James Franco. So she's
Zombieland. So I think it's like this is like the beginning.
Okay.
So I think you know of her from the stuff she's done after this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
cool. All right. That's kind of all the facts. It's I think one of the reasons why it's compared to Dazed and Confused, obviously because it's Linklater. It's obviously got that same feel. Like it takes place over a weekend. It's in the 80s, or the Dazed and Confused is in the 76, and it has a young cast, a young up and coming cast. Obviously, this is before Glen Powell is Glen Powell. Obviously, who he is now. and the other actors that are in there, you've seen them in other things, not all of them have hit so far, but you don't know yet. So I had seen this film when it came out. I don't think I saw it in the theater, but I knew I had seen it and I liked it because I was like, I can't believe this didn't get. That's why I was on the list. I can't believe not a lot of people talk about it as they talk about Dazed and Confused. I mean, Dazed and Confused is obviously a watershed picture for a lot of things I just said, especially the cast, because there's so many people in that movie. But you had never seen this film.
I'd never even heard of this film.
You never even knew about it.
Never even. I don't know if our theater had it or not.
So let's go. Hit me with some, first impressions, first thoughts. Break my heart.
All right. Yeah. This movie is pointless. This movie is pointless. There's no story. There's no point to it. It is incredibly well acted. I 100% believe. I don't believe the conversations are not real. They're like Dazed and Confused. They're very play acting, very they discuss too much. They're very verbose for knucklehead jocks, especially freshmen. It's a fun movie. It's like a party that doesn't stop. I can see why you like it. I am not an athlete. I was never a jock.
Oh, well.
I have no concept of living in a frat, which I know you don't either. We just thought you commuted. I just, there's nothing for me to grasp onto in this movie. I don't think our character really learns anything other than, wow, college is going to be different. No, duh. College is different for everybody. It's the type of finding themselves movie where they don't find themselves. It's that kind of movie that begins and ends almost in the same place. I don't regret watching it. It's not like, wow, I don't think this is a bad movie, but I just didn't get anything from this movie other than everyone in here, like you said, could be an up and coming star because they're all very good actors in this movie.
Right.
And I think that's what saves this movie, as well as the dialogue's very good, even if it is unrealistic. That's not what, kids would talk like in college or partying and stuff like that.
Right. In the 80s, 40 years ago.
Yeah. So I liked it, but I just think it's a pointless kind of watch. You watch it because you are into, sports or athletes or that concept is interesting to you. Like young people finding themselves. I think we've talked about in this podcast before. That's not really my jam. That's like, I'm not really that interested in it unless they really discover something in themselves or it really has a poignant message. And I don't know if this does.
So much to unpack. Why don't you like, I know I never really asked you this question, but why don't you like coming of age films?
I don't think they ring true for me. And I don't think maybe it's because my life wasn't like I had that one pivotal moment. I think everybody has a series of moments. And I think that movies try to build up the importance of, I had this moment. You're going to have a series of moments or build up the importance of high school. And there's nothing I hate more than people that just live in that. I think we've talked about this in the podcast before. Live in that prime of high school. That was the prime, the only time. Every time should be the prime. But make every day count kind of a thing. It's like, why do you keep living in the past? I'm not a huge fan of people living in the past.
You mean like living their, like if I'm sitting here talking about I scored 25
Yeah, if you
points,
constantly talked about your basketball games in high school, we probably wouldn't be doing this podcast.
I don't remember half of them.
I feel like I gotta listen to those basketball games again.
That's like when I got the ball with 2 seconds left. I never got the ball. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah. So I think that's why these things don't ring true for me, because I don't think it rings true for a lot of people. I think people want it to have rang true for them, but I don't think that kind of coming of age moment is realistic. I think it romanticizes the past in a way that I don't think needs to be romanticized.
But you don't think that people's experiences were similar to that of what we see in this film for college?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I think people that maybe did that, it rings true for them.
Right.
And maybe that actually works better because Jake doesn't come to some kind of massive realization other than, school's going to be a little different. It's just a day in the life. And maybe that's reliving their glory days or being like, oh yeah, that nostalgia. And they really get hit in the nostalgia, which I think Dazed and Confused does as well. I'm Dazed and Confused, another film where the dialogue, there's some great lines that everybody remembers. The acting or the actors and stuff, they're all, like you said, up and coming huge actors. It's another film that kind of does the same thing. It's just, I think it's Linklater just wants to be relive that nostalgia. And that's kind of where he's at in these films, which is fine. It's just not my bag.
Do you not like Dazed and Confused?
I didn't say that, but I'm
asking you. I'm not saying you did. I'm just curious.
I think Dazed and Confused is a better version of this in that the people have maybe something a little bit more to say. and the acting is a little bit, the amount of up and coming actors. And like you said, these guys could come up as just like, it's like watching a history lesson of cinema of just like boom, 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 boom. You know, these at least 5 people from that movie are names you would know.
Oh, what? Dazed and Confused?
Dazed and Confused.
Well, not just names you know, huge stars. Like Matthew McConaughey is a huge star. Parker Posey, obviously, she's big. She's big now, yeah. Renee Zellweger? Yeah, she was Joey Adams. Joey Adams? Joey Porter? No, that's the linebacker. That's a safety for the Steelers, Mike. She's in Chasing Amy. She's Amy. She's the Amy they've chased. So I think it's Joey Adams, I think.
I'm going to look up all the big names.
Anyways.
I'm on it. We'll cut. Instead of doing this and looking like morons. You're thinking of Joey Lauren Adams.
Yeah, I got it right. Joey,
you did say it.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, Jason London.
That's not the good one.
He's not huge, but he
was.
Yeah. Mila Jovovich is in it.
Yep.
I forgot she's in it. Adam Goldberg's in it.
Yep.
Anthony Rapp's in it.
Yep. Well, we're not talking about that movie. I'm a big Dazed and Confused fan. I'm sure, and I'm a big fan of this film. I get what you're saying in terms of maybe you can't relate to it in of the sport angle, but you went away to college, so you kind of have a taste of that college life.
Sure, yeah. It wasn't like this big thing. I wouldn't make a movie about it.
Why not? It's such a good time. It's no responsibilities. I mean,
sure, but what's the point? What are they getting at?
What's the point? There is no point. I understand what you're saying, and I think that's the point.
But I'm also not saying I don't like this movie.
I'm not offended if you don't like it. It's cool.
It's a fine movie.
It's a fine film.
The acting and the dialogue,
Richard. It's a fine film.
I just don't think it goes anywhere, and I prefer a movie that goes somewhere and tries to have something to say.
But that's kind of interesting because you're an actor by trade.
And I would love to be in this film.
Exactly. And so movies
we've talked about this before.
I know, yeah. So maybe people haven't watched that before. Right. You act like I remember the conversations we have.
That's fine. Go on.
It's very surprising to me that you don't like character-driven pieces or pieces that are not plot. I mean, this is obviously not a plot-driven movie.
Right.
It's almost. It's like everything you explained is accurate. But somebody who would dive into characters, I'm surprised you don't like a movie. I'm surprised you don't like watching a movie like that. You would like to be in a movie like that, but you don't like watching a movie like that. That's interesting. That's just interesting.
I mean, as an audience member, I think I look at it from a slightly different way. Like I say, I love the acting in it, but yeah, because it doesn't go anywhere. I'm a complete picture kind of guy.
I gotcha.
I remember in college, we're getting ready to do one of our performances of Julius Caesar. And one of the actors goes, I would love to do this, but if we just no sets, we took away the dialogue.
Dogma 95.
We just acted it out. We just acted it out with our emotions, our feelings. It just really, and I'm like, that's not what this art is. That's not what this is. A collaborative effort. It's the writing. It's the acting. It's the sets. It's the theme. It's the dialogue. It's all of it put together. And so when I watch a film, that's what I look for. I've never been big, and that's fine if people are, but I kind of got shit for that too. And they were like, oh, Butler's not a true actor. It's like, no, I think it's a collaborative art form. And I think everything put together is what makes film, TV, stage work great. Uh-huh. And that's a big thing for me. I don't know.
So would you describe yourself as an artist or a craftsman?
I think an artist. I just feel like craftsman's kind of weird to say when you're not making.
Well, you are. I'm not saying there's no art in being a craftsman, but much like a carpenter, or much like somebody who builds with their hands, dumb, like that's a carpenter. You are much more attuned to a movie or a story that is put together by different pieces and parts, and there's a collaborative process. Yeah. But you're not into like. And I do understand what you're saying, because I have that mentality as well. But like sometimes you just need to kind of get into the muck and just create and just be arty and not, you know what I mean? Like for instance, the party that they go to, in this movie.
The theater.
Would you go to that kind of party? Would you do that? Because a lot of that stuff is just to be art and to be there.
Some of it was
to exist and to experience it is the art form and to become inspired from that. Like, would you be able to do something like that?
I think so. I think that'd be fun.
But
you're only doing it for a night, and it's fine. They're doing the dating play where you're kind of ad-libbing. I think that would have been fun. Right. That you get into character and you have to be that character. That seems like a fun time.
Right. Just walk around and kind of,
as long as fun is as long as it's like, it's a party, so we're having fun. Yeah.
Okay. I
could dig deep in it. I could get into that.
Man, we just went off.
We're talking about art, man.
but it's just funny because your definition of, and this is true of everybody because it's so subjective, that your definition of art is completely different probably from mine and from everybody's definition of art. Like, especially the medium that you use or how you express yourself or what you consider to be art. Like, I could, like, everyday things could be art, like photography, but taking pictures of just people doing their job is art for a lot of people. So it may be not for you or for me or for someone else, but it's always subjective. I think that's what makes art great, is that it could be anything. It's whatever has meaning for you. But let's get back to this photo. Let's go back to this film. After watching this movie, and I felt this way for a while because I've watched a ton of Linklater films. I'm a big fan of Richard Linklater. I think he is an awesome storyteller, not just a director and writer, but a storyteller. He bounces around from genre to genre, different types of movies. He doesn't do the same thing. Like, it could have been very easily, like with Slacker and Dazed and Confused, it could be very easily like that's the movies he does, but he doesn't. He does so many good movies, like the movie Me and Orson Welles, which I
think I know.
That's with Zac Efron, where he plays like not a page. He's trying to get a job at the theater because Orson Welles is putting on a play.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
That's good. Like, even and what I love about him, which is also what I love about Steven Soderbergh, is that they're quick, they get things done, and they're prolific. Right, and he just puts out a litany of films that there are films that I have yet to see that I forgot that he did, that I have to go back and watch. But he's got a movie that's coming out. He's got two movies that are coming out this year at the same time almost. And one of them is about, I think it's about Truffaut shooting a day on the set of one of his movies. I can't remember what it's called, and I can't remember which movie, but when I read the synopsis, I was like, ooh, interesting. So Where Did You Go, Bernadette is one that I was like, oh, let me see what this one is really good. With Cate Blanchett. So I really like Richard Linklater. So this film, when I had seen it earlier, I enjoyed it, but watching it again, I'm in awe of just how easy it seems to be for him and how easy this movie just flows. I know that it goes nowhere, and I think that's the point. And I know that these are just guys, these are bros. They're just like, hey man, what's up? I get it. I get all that. With the difference between what I watched there now, and maybe because it takes place in the 80s, to the bros that we probably know and we have grown up with, and I think there's more of a genuineness to what I'm seeing on the screen here rather than a phoniness. And I know you know what I'm talking about with, you know what I mean? And sure, these people in the 80s are going to grow up to be people now who are probably, not nice people, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, there's probably some jerks in here. I get it. Buter's got some old way of thinking, like that kind of stuff.
I hear they say there's no God.
The fact that a lot of them, like Buter, is like dumb, like he doesn't know the way of the world, which I think is funny. I was a fan of it all. I was a fan of the dialogue. I was a fan of just the movie in and of itself. I had a good time like you did. But I couldn't go around that corner where you're going in terms of just like what you didn't dig. I dug it all. This movie for me feels like a movie that epitomizes why this podcast is around, like why it's Forgotten Cinema. Cause like I said, it came out and nobody watched it.
Yeah.
And it came and went. And I'm just like, this is Linklater. This is very similar to Dazed and Confused. How is this movie not like, I was like, how did this movie not do well? I don't understand. Cause I read some of the reviews and we'll get to them, but there were generally positive reviews on this film. I'm just shocked that it didn't do well. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because the star power isn't as big as Dazed and Confused.
But these people weren't anything in Dazed and Confused yet.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like Well, because Dazed and Confused is something, when it came out, it was great. Everyone loved it.
And it's grown into something?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This film, I don't know if it'll ever go back unless, Glen Powell's a huge star. So he might his star power
if he starts
might bring
going,
this
man,
back.
I remember working with Linklater on.
Well, like I said, he wrote Hitman with him, and he did that for Netflix, which is good. Yeah. So he's still in that. He still works with him. So I don't know. Maybe his star power will kind of bring this movie to the farm. I guarantee you. Watch like 10 weeks from now. It'll be on Stars or something, or it'll be like I'll have to read some article. I'll see some title for some
Screen Rant. We'll talk.
Yeah, some article. The 2016 can't miss movie that you miss, like something like that. Just watch. It'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah. So I don't have a lot. It didn't have a lot of facts.
No. It's kind of based on Linklater. I guess he did play baseball in school.
I think he talked about how he wanted it. It was just like you said, it was nostalgia, but it was just, he remembered how the good times he had with on the team at the college, like how they would go out, but also how competitive it was, even for simple, stupid things, like little things that were always competitive with each other. Cause it's a weird dynamic. You are on a team. Yeah. But sometimes you're competing for whether a scout's going to come see you or you're competing for a role on the team in and of itself. So while you're all friends and supporting each other, you're also competing against each other. And that just creates this weird dynamic on and off the field for any team, not just baseball, basketball, football. That's how it is. So
yeah, Jake's there with 4 or 5 other pitchers.
Yeah.
So it's like they tell him, like, we're not going to be friends.
Another thing I like, or I noted to myself, I don't know if it is compared to back then, how they're on a college baseball team. They all share helmets, they all share bats. It's not like where you compare it to now, where everyone's got their own helmet, everyone's got their designer bat that they all got NIL contracts. They're all decked out in their gear. It just feels like 40 years ago, 45 years ago. It's more pure. It's more pure of a game. It's more pure of a joy of the game rather than now. It feels it's a brand.
We only watched the practice game though. We didn't watch.
I know,
actual.
But it's not. But it's still. I know that you had Mick Reynolds, who was the hot star there, and he was like, the scouts are going to come see him, and then you had the pitcher who was Jay, the guy.
Oh, that's Raw Dog. Yeah.
He was funny. They had him. He was he's somebody obviously who's just looking to get to the next level. So you had that, but I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe just because I'm looking back, it just feels more nostalgia that way. I don't know. That's just how I felt. Speaking of Raw Dog and all that stuff, what did you think of how each night they go to a different club and they dress up for that club? And, Jake actually says it, like, I feel a little phony here. Like, we just keep dressing up to go. Yeah.
So you don't like your frog legs? No. You do not like my frog legs?
He's very self-conscious about my frog legs. Yeah.
I liked it. I liked that they brought it up onto the disco. So we were going from a disco to now Cowboys.
Yeah. They had to go home and change. And then when they go to the punk show, the other guy wouldn't change. And he's like, you're the one
at least untuck your shirt. We belong here. You don't belong here. At least untuck your shirt. You look like such a square. Are you looking like an undercover cop or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I liked it. I like that. I kind of going to say it was interesting. Each time was a different party. It's just that they keep drinking.
It's
like you brought it up a couple episodes ago. Like anything that takes place in the past, no one ever gets hungover.
I looked it up.
You did?
And it's not. It's like the whole thing about watering it down and stuff like that. Now it's all the same. It was the same strong, same proof.
Alcoholics back then.
Beer is not. I don't know. Beer is obviously you can develop a big tolerance for that.
Sure.
But they're 20, 19, 18, 20.
They bounce back quicker.
But
they party hard all day. Then they wake up and the next morning they're drinking beer. And also, how do they have that much money?
Not only are they drinking beer, I never see them work out. None of, I get it's the weekend. It's just one weekend, but none of them are ever working out, and they all are cut, and they're all obviously well in shape.
They're working out right before they went. Now it's party time.
Right. But when you look at the house, and I guess they shot one day at the original frat house that Linklater was in at Sam Houston State, but they couldn't get permits for the rest of it. So they shot in other houses. But when you look inside the house, that's pretty much what a house like that would look like.
Oh, frat houses?
It would look crappy. Yeah.
Yeah. The dorm houses. Yeah. Even today, or 10 years ago when I was in college. That's
Yeah. So it does not look good. It's not.
They weren't great houses, bare walls. Because if you made holes, you had to pay for them.
Yeah.
So beer everywhere, garbage, whatever was at the last party all over the place.
Exactly.
No one's got a vacuum, so you're not vacuuming that carpet.
So we haven't talked about the romantic side of this film. The Jake and the Beverly stuff.
Right.
They first meet Beverly when they're driving around looking for
trying to pick up girls.
Trying to pick up girls. Classic. And she's like, oh, I like the quiet one in the back. And then that kind of like he's interested and yet he still kind of hooks up with the girl that night before. And so, but whatever. What did you think about that whole romantic angle of the movie?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it just comes in too late into the film. Like, obviously he meets her at the beginning, but nothing comes of it until too, like you say, he picks up the other girl. It's a story about him and his teammates. I get that every movie needs that, requisite girlfriend character, but I don't think it was really needed. But at the same time, although his friend could have done it, shown him a different side of school. He's got that one friend who's all punk rock.
Oh, right.
Whatever.
Yep.
He's doing with odd jobs. But I think his character could have been changed a little bit to give that same effect of showing that there's a different side of school than just being that athlete kind of a thing, to explore your options, which they kind of touch on and they don't, because again, this movie doesn't go anywhere, but they do like, what's my major? What classes should I take? What should I do? And you have Glenn at one point, or Glen Powell, Finnegan at one point saying, Finn says, everyone's here is imagining that they're going to make the playoffs. Like, I don't have that kind of dream notion that I'm going to like make it big all of a sudden this year. This is the last year we get to do this. And then we're in real life.
Yeah.
That also never comes up again.
Well, I think that's the point of the ending of the film. So, like they are this whole weekend they're partying and they have the volunteer, the optional workout, which they have to all come to on Sunday, but it's players only because then school starts on Monday. I think once school starts for them, like they're not going to be partying like this all weekend because they're going to be, practice in class, studying, games, all that stuff. I mean, he says that they don't play till the spring, but they have a pretty big fall schedule. Right. So I think this weekend is kind of like living in the moment, enjoying this one giant weekend. You're there and then, get to work. And at the end of the film, when they go into the class and they're like, yeah, it's going to be great. And they both like fall asleep.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like, no, that's what it's going to be like. So I think that's kind of like, that's the come down from their big weekend, but also like, it's time to kind of like go to school. So I don't know if the fun times will be as fun as you just saw the opening weekend.
Right.
But I think that's what the point of what this movie's about is, just like you live in that moment. And in this moment, like all bets are off kind of thing.
All right.
Just whatever, Field. I'll get you some facts so you can get some ones you agree with. I actually got two bad ones for you too.
Oh, you mean reviews, not facts?
Reviews, excuse me. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'll give you the good one first. Right. Sheila O'Malley from RogerEbert.com says, quote, Linklater approaches his subjects with affection and even kindness. One of his distinguishing characteristics. Everybody wants some is a corrective to the tired, false, dumb jock stereotype. So she is saying that it is putting these people not in the dumb jock stereotype, but in fact that they are intelligent.
I mean, Raw Dog's dumb as hell. Like that kid's an idiot. Some of the freshmen are pretty dumb too. I would say yes.
Check your pillows, man. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Check your pillows? What? I would say that. I mean, it's true a little bit, but also the dialogue is still not realistic for any college student, I think. So yes, the jocks aren't played as dumb, but they are played as kind of meathead, overly aggressive, competitive people. Like they're still played like jocks
now,
and you only see them around each other. So you don't get to see how they really, react to other people and deal with other people.
When you say the dialogue's not realistic, and I don't want to put you on the spot, are you referencing like Finnegan stuff? And
everyone is a little just too verbose, not in a bad way where it's just like, oh my God, shut up. It's not Juno. I quite like the dialogue, but it's like I said, it's more playish.
Well, what's the difference between that kind of dialogue and like in Animal House, when you have like a couple of the frat brothers in Animal House are smart and well,
it's very similar. And Revenge of the Nerds, where they go like way too verbose, and it's just kind of like, okay.
So you didn't like that in those either.
I do like it in those, but right. I don't find it realistic. I like it in this. I think the dialogue is one of the best things about this movie.
Right.
It's just I don't find it realistic. It's this romanticization. It's a romantic notion of how these people talked. But how college students.
But isn't that what
Buffy has the same issue?
But isn't that what movies are? But isn't that what cinema is? It's not real life. It's a romantic look at whatever.
This for sure is a romantic,
but Buffy,
look at something.
But like stuff like that, like those. That's what, like, if you want realism, watch a doc, right? Like, what's about the argument there? Like if you're looking for realism in a movie, like you want movie theater, you want movie lines.
Yeah, I'm okay with the dialogue. Yeah, but I then you can't say his portrayal of jocks was just like, all right,
okay,
yeah, but I don't think it's a realistic portrayal of jocks.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll give you the bad ones you can agree with. Amy Nicholson of MTV. This is a long one, so I apologize. Linklater can't resist posturing that there's deep emotional significance in these bros. There could have been, if he'd step back from his personal sentimentality and reshape them to matter to everyone. And the best moments of Everybody Wants Some come when they step out of their and Linklater's comfort zone to explore beyond the athletic dorms, a country bar, a disco, a punk show. So she is saying that it is better when they are not when they're not doing their baseball stuff.
They're almost never doing. I don't agree with that review, because they're almost never doing baseball stuff. They have one practice. There's like no baseball in this baseball film.
Right.
The other thing is, to make a character that relates to everyone is to have a character that relates to no one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I can't relate to any of these guys. And it's hard to relate to a team of all jocks because most people aren't jocks. But this is a movie about baseball players.
Well, this is a movie, but I think this is a movie about the sum part of Everybody Wants Some. I think we know what sum is supposed to mean here.
Everybody wants to party.
Yeah.
That kind of brotherhood. I get that. But I think the characters are all pretty varied. Finn is different than, what's Tyler Hoechlin's character is called?
Which one?
Hoechlin. Oh, McReynolds. Finn is different than Mick, and then Willoughby is obviously very different.
Huh.
Jake is kind of your all-rounder. I don't think Jake is meant to be where you see the audience sees. So I think
Jake's supposed to be Linklater. Jake's supposed to be Linklater and us and the new guy, and we're supposed to see all this through his eyes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's a little bland.
I don't know if quite honestly, if I'm a freshman and I'm coming into that, I'm just my mental makeup, I'm not as forward as Jake is.
Jake
but he is like the best star, the best baseball player out of his high school. So I'm sure he was heavily recruited. So I'm sure he's got that little bit of a swagger to him.
So is everybody else.
Dan Solomon from the Texas Monthly. The way Linklater gets around having to confront the misogyny of homophobia that was a part of the world he decided to depict was basically to not have any gay people in it, or to not give any women in the movie more than about 5 minutes of screen time. So I think Dan's point of contention is that it's not so wholesome for these gentlemen back in Texas. I mean, okay, but then you can say that for a lot of stuff in the past.
That's not what the movie's about.
It's
the movie's about a baseball team. You're not going to have a gay character necessarily, and the female character is just there to be the female character. I do agree with that. I don't think they needed a female character at all because this isn't the story they're telling. I don't think you have to hit all the points if you're telling a very specific story.
Yeah, but if you don't have a female character that your lead or somebody is like going for, like, or even like Finnegan gets, because he is somebody who is just trying to kind of, he's changing the way who he is each night so that he can get with a woman.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting if he met somebody that was his counterpart, or you know what I mean? Like,
True.
And he really was seeking her. You would have had that, and you kind of have that a little bit in Dazed and Confused. You kind of some of that stuff. Although the main through line is just Jason London not wanting to play football next year, and they're trying to make him sign it. And then the kid, the son, the little boy, the preteen. No, the teenager. I'm sorry, he's going to go into high school, a freshman. So I think that. What Dan was looking for, what Solomon is looking for here, is not that movie. And yes, it's there, but what do you want them to do? Do you want them to say different certain words to call it, you know what I mean? To like, oh, you skirt, obviously going to get a little worse than that, but just you want them to use those terms so that we can, I mean, okay, just fine.
That's what they talked like
right.
in the 80s.
But then that's going to pull away from what the story is, because it's not, I mean, I do appreciate that. I don't like it when they whitewash something, or when they kind of, pretend that stuff wasn't around back then.
Right. But if the whole point of this is optimistic nostalgia, then you shouldn't have that. I don't think you should have that.
Like we were watching a Doctor Who episode, the more recent, and you haven't watched the new season, right?
Not yet.
Well, there was an episode where they're in Miami in the 60s or 50s or whatever, and they go up and sit at a counter. And I'm like, and we're watching them going at a diner. I'm like, that's no way. You can't. And then somebody brings it up. They talk about it, which I'm like, okay, good. You, at least reference it. Like that's my biggest thing. Let's not, because you shouldn't pretend that stuff didn't happen. You know what I mean? You shouldn't pretend that there aren't characters that are heroes back then, but are flawed in their thinking. They're old school thinking. It's just a well-rounded character. I don't know why I'm going down that path. Oh, because of this
guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with those negative reviews. I have different reasons that I'm negative, but I'm not completely negative. I like this film.
It doesn't seem like you do, but I get you. I understand.
I have issues with it, man.
I did not know that the bridge stick used at pool is also called the bitch stick. That was the first time I heard that. Are you using the bitch stick? Really?
As soon as you brought it out, though, I was like, "Why are you?" I knew he was going to get crap for it.
Oh, of course,
like, come on.
But I would have done that too. I mean, you need it to hit the ball.
I mean, if they're betting real money on it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. I like the line. Now you went from cute to restraining order.
Yeah. Oh, calm down. All right. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Go. I just want to see where she's. No.
Yeah. I mean, I like how the movie kicks off with My Sharona and the songs. You're into it. It gets you into the music and gets you into the movie. And then I don't know. I'm a fan of the film. I know you say you like the film, but I'm confident in saying that I like it more than you.
100%.
Okay. So I guess you wouldn't suggest this to people?
I would absolutely suggest this to people. If you like baseball, if you were a jock back in the day, if you like living in nostalgia, living in the past, I think this does a good job of it. I think the dialogue is great. And like you said, if you watch any kind of Linklater film, it's just easy.
Yeah.
I do think this film is a little bit long because it's just a bunch of guys hanging out, but it's not like, it drags. Because I think there's an ease to all of his films. And like you said, I was going through his IMDb and I'm like, wow, I didn't know he did that one. He does all these different films, but any scene he does just feels like it was easy for the actors. Like it was easy to set up. It's got like this ease to it that I really appreciate his directing as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a reason to watch it. The dialogue is a reason to watch it. The acting. I think it's cool to watch a young Wyatt Russell and Tyler Hoechlin and Glen Powell just kind of like doing their thing. And like Glen Powell, like
you can see the star.
Charisma.
You can see the star potential.
He's
100%.
He's got star potential in there.
Totally. Obviously now we know that.
But even watching it, it's like, that guy.
I forgot he was John Glenn in Hidden Figures. I totally forgot that. Yeah. What the girls say? Remember that? What does she think?
So I think it's definitely worth recommending to a whole wide group of people, even if it's not necessarily the film for me. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of people that would really like it. Would women really like it? I don't know if it rings so true for them. I would still maybe recommend it, but I don't know how they would feel about it because there aren't a lot of female characters, and the one that you get is a little, I think, rote.
That's fine. Somebody they're just not into that. Maybe they don't want to watch something like that. To your point, I'm a big Spielberg fan because Spielberg is one of our greatest storytellers. But I would also say, the reason why I would watch it always, if Linklater did a film, I'd watch it. Steven Soderbergh, maybe a handful of other directors, because they're really great storytellers. And I know that I'm going to get told a good story. I may not know what's going on going into it, but I know that I'm going to be interested. And they've never failed me. Even something that's been super small. Like we watched The Unsane for Soderbergh.
I was not a fan of it.
He wasn't.
I do like Soderbergh, but
I liked it. But I will definitely die on that hill that both of these guys and others are really great storytellers. And I would definitely always recommend a Richard Linklater film to anybody who likes great stories. I would always want to push people outside of their comfort zone to watch things that they wouldn't normally watch. Like I think Everybody Wants Some is probably one of those films. Like I think when you watch the trailer and you're like, what is this? And you're just like, exactly. It is what it is that, but you should still watch it because it's still an experience to watch. So I would highly recommend this film. I would highly recommend a lot of Linklater films, most of them actually. Obviously I like it more than Mike. But
would you recommend this over Dazed and Confused?
Oh no, Dazed and Confused. I think this is probably the double feature you watched with Dazed and Confused. I think because it's technically a spiritual sequel. And I know that they were talking about how this is supposed to be a continuation of Boyhood. It's not, because Boyhood ends when he goes to college. And this is supposed to be like, oh, well, now this is what happens in college. It's not. I know that people have said that. Really? Yeah, but that's not what it is.
The Linklater version.
Exactly. You should go back and watch the Before series with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Good. Those are really good. You want to talk about, if you love dialogue and you love just basically watching acting on screen, like, if you love that, you will love those films. And those films just, Before Sunrise is fantastic, but like they're just such good films. I think I said a little bit why this was already forgotten. I don't know why, maybe just kind of it just came and went, or they didn't put a lot of money behind it. It almost
seems like it was like, it's not a COVID film, but it seems like it's a COVID film.
Yeah.
A lot of stars. It's a little bit of an indie, like not an indie because it's a Linklater film, but still like.
It never had a big release, a limited release, but maybe because this is the beginning of streamers, right? 2016. This is kind of when streaming's kind of coming around.
You're also talking about an April release when big movies are starting.
Yeah.
You didn't say what came out.
On its wide. You had movies like, let's see, you had Barbershop, The Next Cut. You had Criminal, which is with Kevin Costner. That was the week before. It's big week. You had The Huntsman, Winter's War, Elvis and Nixon, A Hologram for the King. You had Mother's Day after that, Keanu. So I mean, not really looking back.
Keanu for comedy.
But looking back, it's not strong. But I guess when they're coming out, maybe they were strong. Maybe they were kind of. Yeah, the Jungle Book remake came out.
Yeah, you're just surrounding it with like maybe none of them were huge.
Yeah,
but you're surrounding it with a bunch of little things that are just.
I forgot that The Huntsman got a sequel.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, well, the first one's meh.
The art direction is great in those films, and that's about it.
And that was Hemsworth too.
Yep.
Oof.
And then Hemsworth. Yeah, there was no Snow White in the second one at all. Right. Yeah. Only The Huntsman.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember. I remember thinking Keanu was funny, but I never watched it again.
I do also remember it was funny, but yes, I remember him doing the cat photos at the end for the cat death.
I always think about horror movie, and no one's seen Renly again when he's talking about George Michael.
Yeah.
Wham.
Yeah. The Snow White one, the first one was problematic, right? There was problems on the set. Wasn't like somebody was marriage is broken up or something.
Can you
like
just not watch a Snow White? Is there no good Snow White film? Is there always something going on?
I haven't even watched that new one. I should. I want to see how bad it is. Yeah. So, okay. So I guess, I think this, like I said, way back then, I think this film epitomizes why we start this podcast. I would definitely go watch it.
You got to rent it, even though it was produced by Paramount. I don't understand why it's not on Paramount Plus.
Who knows? Who can't find anything anymore? It's so stupid. Where can they find us?
Well, you can find us on ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. You won't have a problem. Like, rate, subscribe wherever you're watching or listening to us. We really appreciate it. It really helps. What's your favorite Linklater film, or what's your favorite?
There's so many.
What's your favorite baseball film? Not other than Field of Dreams, because that's just going to be
Field of Dreams, Major League.
I love
Major League 2 because they win. Field of Dreams is tough to beat.
If Major League wasn't just going to be an episode where it's all just us doing lines, I would put Major League on the list.
Major League?
Yeah. We would just do lines the whole time.
Well, I always remember the lines from Major League 2. It's like, you have no huevos. Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill. That's from the first one. No, that's from the second one. I think I had it from the second one. Damn it. Sorry.
So what's your favorite baseball film other than Field of Dreams? Tell us in the comments below, or your favorite Linklater film. Yeah. We're on Patreon. If you want to support us further, we've got exclusive episodes there. Discord access, stickers, all that kind of merch discounts. We got a merch store if you want to check those out. I know as we're recording this, Field just made some new merch.
I did. I like those. I'm going to buy some.
Cool.
You like them?
Yeah.
I was going to wear them too.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah.
I might get one. I'll get because it was like protag and antagonist.
There's protagonist. It's just shirts that say protagonist. There's one that says antagonist. There's one that says comedic relief, and the other one says MacGuffin.
I like that. So I would have definitely either like protagonist or comic relief. You would have to have antagonist.
I would get protagonist and antagonist. I was thinking because there's like a picnic at the CEO's house,
right,
where I work, and like I'm like, oh, I want to get one antagonist shirt. Like, what's up? Walk in. Oh, Phil, you're such an idiot. Yeah. All right. So awesome. So that's where you can find us. And yeah, I have to get the merch. I have to start promoting it and stuff like that. And I did a block of 4. I'll probably come up with another block of 4.
For the theme shirt.
Yeah. And join us next week. We're going to be watching the 1992 film Gladiator, not the 2001 Gladiator.
Although we did do that on the podcast
for a lead up, and that's available. This is the 1992 boxing film Gladiator with Cuba Gooding Jr., Brian Dennehy, James Marshall. I think that's the lead.
Okay. Yep.
That's next week. But yeah. So anyways, take care. Everybody wants some, right? I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema.